Right now, a narrow 21-mile stretch of water is paralyzing 20% of the world's seaborne oil and liquefied natural gas. Look at the fallout on global energy and food prices. Brent crude has shot up to $120 a barrel. And because Gulf nations rely on this single route for 80% of their food, regional grocery prices have surged by over 100%. This economic shock followed the total collapse of the April 2026 Islamabad peace talks. The diplomacy failed just weeks after the launch of Operation Epic Fury, a high-intensity military campaign that decapitated Iranian leadership. That campaign systematically degraded Iran's nuclear and industrial infrastructure, but it didn't force a surrender. Instead, it backed a weakened regime into a corner, triggering a desperate and globally disruptive retaliation in the strait. To weaponize its geographic leverage, Tehran began demanding a $2 million cash toll from any commercial ship passing through its territorial waters. Trump called the toll world extortion. In response, he ordered a total redirection of the Navy's mission, the Doctrine of Total Exclusion. This is an insurance blockade. The U.S. Navy is instructed to intercept and board any vessel that pays the Iranian toll. By creating a high risk of military interdiction, the U.S. makes commercial shipping inherently uninsurable at any viable rate. The policy neutralized Tehran's toll revenue, but it forced the U.S. Navy into a permanent occupation of a congested and lethal waterway to keep the blockade in place. In the open ocean, U.S. carrier groups have no equal, but the tight, shallow confines of the strait turn that technological superiority into a liability. It is effectively a natural shooting gallery for coastal defenses. To protect the fleet, Arleigh Burke-class destroyers use advanced Aegis combat systems to fire million-dollar interceptor missiles at incoming threats. Iran counters this by swarming the airspace with dozens of low-cost kamikaze drones. These drones are mass-produced and decentralized, making them difficult to target all at once. The math is lopsided. The Navy must fire a $4 million interceptor to destroy a $20,000 drone. At this rate, the U.S. would deplete its regional stock of precision munitions in just 4 weeks of sustained combat. The Navy's technological edge has hit a ceiling. In this environment, the fleet is being bankrupted by the high cost of asymmetric attrition. The threat also exists below the surface, where smart sea mines can halt a multi-billion-dollar fleet for days. To protect ships, the U.S. must establish physical sea space or buffer zones far away from the Iranian coast. To secure these zones, the Pentagon pulled the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit from its base in Okinawa. This force is tasked with capturing strategic Iranian islands to serve as a beachhead against drone and mine layers. With the sea route closed, the world is leaning on Saudi Arabia's east-west petroline. This pipeline was designed to pump 7 million barrels of oil a day directly to the Red Sea, bypassing the Strait of Hormuz entirely. But there is a mechanical flaw at the end of the pipe, the Yanbu port. While the pipeline can deliver 7 million barrels, the port's physical loading capacity maxes out at roughly 4.5 million barrels per day. No matter how much oil the pipe carries, 2.5 million barrels remain stranded. Engineering can only do so much. The loading constraints at Yanbu prove it is physically impossible for current land infrastructure to replace the volume of the strait. A blockade this disruptive cannot remain a bilateral conflict. The combination of an unnavigable waterway and a legally questionable U.S. interdiction policy is forcing other powers to act. China, which relies on the Gulf for 40% of its oil, has dispatched its 48th naval fleet to the region. This creates a dangerous military tripwire where a single mistake could draw the U.S. and China into a direct confrontation. For the United States, the strategic trade-off is massive. By stripping its permanent marine presence from Japan to secure the Gulf, the U.S. has created a gap in its deterrence against China near Taiwan. By committing so heavily to controlling a 21-mile choke point, the U.S. has compromised its security posture across the entire Indo-Pacific. This crisis is a modern Suez Moment, the definitive proof that traditional megafleets can no longer dictate terms against cheap, asymmetric technology. The global reaction will be permanent. Nations that rely on these imports are already accelerating their shift toward overland pipelines and renewable energy to forever decouple from maritime chokepoints. The strategic math of naval warfare has moved into a new phase. Regardless of how this specific blockade ends, The era where any single nation can guarantee uncontested ocean logistics is over.